Thanks for joining us on News 360 live from the news up here at Abyssal. I am Portia Gabo.
My name is Alfred Okanse. Coming up this evening.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by Deluxy Acrylic Paint, Heaven Insecticide Spray and Coil,
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste,
Napa Foods,
My Life Insurance.
Tonight, petitioners to charge to investigate killings and human rights abuses in the 2020 general elections ask for compensation for victims and culpable security officers prosecuted.
Also coming up, police CID investigating Abyssal killings find intestines of one of the victims buried in a cocoa farm.
And government to invest $25 million as startup funds towards the establishment of a vaccine center.
Coming up in business news, Ghana Revenue Authority to roll out revenue assurance compliance enforcement strategy to improve revenue mobilization.
And on the international front, authorities in Nigeria, Central Plateau State imposed 24-hour curfew in the capital, Jos. Well, I want you to go on Facebook, DSTV channel 279, all across the world on 3news.com. Please download the 3 News app on your Google Play Store or the App Store. Let's get connected and interact.
We first begin from the Bono region, where the police CID investigating the Abyssal killings has found the intestines of one of the victims buried in a cocoa farm. The intestines have been exhumed for pathological analysis and forensic examination in Accra. A police statement issued in Accra noted the team also found 2 carcasses with blood and blood stains near a septic tank. On Tuesday, August 25, a team led by Director of the Counseling Unit, ASP Phyllis Osei, and ACP for Stanani Woto visited families of Louisa German and Stephen Watson at Abyssal, Alaska Junction, and provided counseling sessions for them.
Really worrying development there, Portia. We understand that the residents there tried storming the house of the fireman. That's the accused person, to ostensibly burn down the house. There's heavy police presence in the house, so we're getting you some more updates and the subsequent bulletins. Meanwhile, the Director General of the Police Public Affairs, ACP for tells TV3, the suspect is cooperating with investigators.
Suspect is cooperating with the investigative, and he has not in any way done anything, that may jeopardize what we want from him. Therefore, for a body or part of a body to be buried somewhere, and for police to know, definitely he might have given a word or two. The bodies have been sent to the police hospital, Accra, awaiting autopsy and report. But I can say the police are on top of affairs, and whoever commits murder and like offenses will be dealt with according to law. But the situation is not out of control. The police are firmly on the ground, and we use this opportunity to assure the people of Ghana that their police will be there for them anytime, any day, and that together we can build a harmonious, peaceful society.
Meanwhile, father to one of the murdered children at Abyssal in the Bono region has dismissed claims that the suspect is mentally unstable. In an interview with TV3, he noted that the suspect had even been assisting him financially.
Father of 13-year-old Stephen Sapon is yet to come to terms with reality. He refuted claims that the suspect is mentally unstable.
I'm for Casse. A brantiano, you say, Wabodam. And now it seems to me.
People say he's mentally unstable, but I disagree. At age 31, he was unsuspecting, cool, and calm.
The arrest of 28-year-old suspect did not come as a shock to only Mr. Yeboah.
He was our neighbor. We did everything with him. He was a quantity surveyor, and we assisted him in getting jobs, while he also supported us financially in return.
Ikuyatente is a family member of the suspect.
And he's respectful, and I'm shocked he could commit such a heinous crime. I believe he had an accomplice.
The homicide unit of the Ghana Police Service is in Abyssal to commence investigation into the murder of the 3 children.
With other related murder cases, so the police and other security agencies have abused their power during the 2020 general elections, resulting in deaths which have remained uninvestigated. Norton, Member of Parliament, Samuel Okujeto of Black Hotels TV3, these observations, including huge audio-visual evidence, have accompanied a petition to the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, filed jointly with his Elembele colleague, Emmanuel Amankofibua.
Nobody deserves to be killed any time in our history, let alone during elections. And look at the tall list, the compilation we have put together and presented to Shraj. People who have been maimed, people who have lost their limbs. We cannot accept this, and we cannot continue to pretend that these gross human rights violations, these grave atrocities did not occur during the December 7, 2020 elections.
The reliefs being sought by the petition include investigations into violations of human rights of victims, their abuse and killings. Similarly, they also want compensation and disciplinary actions taken against security officers found to have undertaken these actions on the field.
Yes, those who have died, we cannot bring them back. But they've left, some of them have left young children, some of them have left families that are in distress. They deserve compensation. Since the 10th of December, more than 7 months down the lane, not even an update to the general public. We don't know who is conducting this investigation. Which committee did they set up? Who is looking into these matters? Who has been interdicted? And in carrying out the research to go to Shraj, we have been impressed at how so much evidence is available all over the place, particularly thanks to you in the media who covered these incidents. TV3, the Ablekuma Central, a lot of the footage that we have sent to Shraj is from TV3, the TV3 newsroom, your colleagues. They were there and captured everything live. You could see the officers who pulled the trigger, live ammunition.
Also, if you recall, the former IGP had made the point that we're going to be having periodic updates. The public was going to be updated on the details of the investigation so far into these killings during the elections. But let me just run you through what is captured in the Member of Parliament's that's complaint to the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice charge. The complaint is restricted to the Chechiman South, Odododio, Ablekuma Central, and Savelugu constituencies. Now, the complaint relates to the manner in which the Ghana Police Service and the Ghana Armed Forces discharge their constitutional and statutory mandates in the constituencies mentioned above. So that's the specific one. Also, the petition is alleging some 7 individuals were killed and 8 injured by uniformed officers of the National Election Security Task Force. And they also make the point in the petition that they're seeking the following reliefs. 1, investigation into the complaints by the petitioners. 2, a negotiated compensation for victims or their families from the Ghana Police Service and the Ghana Armed Forces. And finally, disciplinary action and prosecution of identified officials responsible for the acts as captured in the audio and visual evidence that they have provided to Shraj. Remember, the last time we had an update was as far back as 10th of December 2020.
So they're seeking justice for the victims.
Absolutely.
Well, let's now continue with the rest of our story to some political news. And the former NDC Deputy General Secretary Koko Anyidoho will be heading to court to challenge his expulsion from the party. He tells Jifa Bampo that the legal action is to prove that the petition filed against him was without merit.
I'm a free Ghanaian. Yes, I still owe allegiance to the party, if I so wish. But Jifa, I'm a Ghanaian, and I have my Twitter handle. Why the NDC also has its Twitter handles? So why don't they tweet? Where in the NDC's constitution does it say that before you tweet anything, you must seek clearance from the party?
Certainly not seeking clearance. But if
Article 47,
if the tweets are, you know,
that Ghana is
offensive.
Ghana is not a banana republic.
So let me read some of them. You said Asedu Nketia made a big mistake to pick a senseless fight with me. How can a spineless mosquito pick up a fight with a determined bull? Do you have to go into a tirade?
It's not a tirade. And of course, even these ones that you are reading have nothing to do with initial petition.
No.
Exactly. So these are just add-ons.
These are okay. So you admit that these are add-ons.
These are just add-ons.
So there's been no word since the ultimatum you gave for the revocation of the letter.
No,
I know you indicated you may seek legal action. Is that still on the table?
It's still on the table, very much so. You know what I mean? If you go and write that I have been engaged in anti-party conduct and indiscipline, two very broad, amorphous, amoeba-like terms that can be subjected to abuse. And if you read this letter that I wrote, I have said that what really is anti-party conduct?
So you said you pursue legal action?
Well, yes. I think that under the circumstances, Jifa, I am a citizen of Ghana. Beyond NDC, I am also currently the founder and the CEO of the Atamils Institute, a duly, properly registered private think tank, civic education, public policy advocacy. I use my good image and my good integrity to run this thing. So I will not sit down for a certain Johnson Kwejo Asedu Nketia. And it's in this letter, out of his malicious perfidy.
How do you know it's malice?
Because I know everything that he's done is tainted by malice and perfidy.
He didn't file the petition.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When we get into open court, they will get to know. We'll get to the bottom of the matter.
Confederate Circuit Court B has sentenced Daniel Ofori, a taxi driver who drove a police officer on the bonnet of his car for about 300 meters, recorded, to 2 years imprisonment. A 37-year-old Daniel Ofori was convicted to serve 6 months on count 1 for dangerous driving contrary to Section 1 of Road Traffic Act 683 and convicted to serve 24 months on count 2, that's for resisting arrest contrary to Section 2261A of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29. Both sentences will run concurrently. The court, presided over by Her Ladyship Mercy Ade Kote, also withdrew his driver's license for the next 5 years. Prosecutor Inspector Gershon Dafiamekpo said the taxi driver, who was being monitored by the police MTTD for other road traffic infractions, was spotted at the Galloway traffic and ordered to park. But he refused and drove away with Sergeant Asante Pepra, who jumped on the bonnet in an attempt to avoid being overrun. Daniel Ofori was, however, forced to stop after another driver blocked his lane, leading to his arrest.
Let's now turn our attention to the outbreak of the bird flu in the country, and the Risk Communication Officer at the Veterinary Services Directorate, Dr. Benjamin Kisi Sasu, has blamed the spread of the bird flu on farmers who doubt the outbreak of the disease. He warned farmers to stop visiting each other's farm and adhere to the safety protocols to avoid further spread.
I remember seeing a farmer, and when the test was running, we showed the results. Some will doubt because they see the mortalities. They doubt that, oh no, because when it comes that once about 40 out of 500 dies, we pick samples and we say the rest need to be destroyed. People are still traveling, people are moving up and down. So chances of the virus moving from one region to another region is very high and easy. If there are countries around us and they have it, we can't import from those places. But as that now, we had the cases in 3 regions from the beginning of our communique. So in those regions, we said movement of these products need to be done under supervision of veterinary. So we have to come because people still need to do business. So once they are not affected and we give the clearance, then you are allowed to move through. If not, then you couldn't move your products out. There is a big investment in terms of poultry feed, the vaccines, veterinary consultation. So they are supposed to do the basic thing with biosecurity. Biosecurity doesn't cost. Having a foot bath, make sure your farm hands are having walleting boots, they have the protective clothes, it doesn't cost. We'll keep them and make sure. When you don't do all these things and you get bird flu, the cost in terms of compared to this product that you needed to get for people is far greater, those things. So we advise them that they should help us to control. They should reduce as soon as possible visit to other farmers. And they should also prevent visitors from entering their farm at this time. And they also make sure that they tell their colleagues that bird flu is in the country and we all need to help us end.
Well, let me now give you a breakdown of the outbreak of the bird flu in the country. So previously, we had 4 regions affected. Now, 5 regions have been affected. There are outbreaks in the Greater Accra region, Central, Volta region, Ashanti region, and the new one being the Western North region, which is the new region that has been affected. Greater Accra, 28 cases, Central 5, Volta 2, Ashanti region 7, and Western North 1 outbreak in that region. Now, as at August 6th, there's 8,349 affected birds. Now, 49,355 new birds have been affected, bringing the total figure to 107,704 affected birds. And as at August 16th, we had 36 cases and 37 new cases in the country. In the Greater Accra region, I'm bringing you cases. Central 1 new case, Volta none.